In this video, I'm going to be covering how you can configure the settings for ChamaWP. Now, in the past videos, we've already installed and set up ChamaWP. We have also connected ChamaWP to Stripe so that you can accept payments. And then we have also managed to set up Google reCAPTCHA so you can protect yourself against spam and fraud payments. So this tutorial is going to go through some of the other settings that are available in ChamaWP that will allow you to get the most out of your monetization pages. Okay, so let's dive right in. So you would have to go into your WordPress dashboard, make sure you're logged in. And I have already logged into my dashboard. It's already up. You can see on my screen. And to access the settings, all you have to do is go to ChamaWP and then click on settings. Now, as you can see here, we'd already covered Stripe, the Stripe tab in a previous tutorial. The one additional note that I may add here is that you can change some other settings like the currency that you're going to accept your payments through. So you could, if you are maybe not based in the US, you can choose your preferred currency, and you can also change the position of the currency symbol if you wanted it to be on the left or to the right, and if you wanted some space in between the symbol and the number or the numbers. And then the separator that you wanted to use, you can choose to use comma instead of the decimal point or the period. Okay, so that's the only thing that I would add to the Stripe tab. The Google reCAPTCHA tab was pretty straightforward, so we've already gone through that. So let me go through the Users tab. So the Users tab has a few options that allow you to mainly to kind of control how your supporters will interact with your payment forms. So the first thing you're going to see is the require login. Now, if you check this option, it's going to force or require that if any supporter tries to make a payment for a donation or a membership subscription or a crowdfunding campaign or a commission, it's going to require that they must log in to your website. Now, although this is optional, I would recommend enabling this option. The reason being is it adds an extra layer of security in terms of protecting your website from spam and also fraud payments. So I would recommend making sure that you require the login. Okay. By default, ChamaWP doesn't require a login. You would, if somebody wants to make a payment, it would just let them make the payment and then and just request like the minimum fields like an email and maybe a name, and that's just about it. But if you want it to be more secured, I would recommend enabling the require login option. The require email verification. This is again would be something I would recommend enabling. So the require email verification for protected content is basically going to require that whenever somebody registers for an account on your website, they're going to have to verify their email to be able to access any of the premium content on your website. If they do not verify the email, they're going to have limited access to your website. So this is a good way of kind of protecting your website against fake email accounts or even spam bots that are trying to access your website. So again, this is something I would always recommend that you enable. And also the added benefit is that you can collect valid emails for your mailing list. So you can have a mailing list within ChamaWP that you can use to communicate with your supporters. Okay. The other option is the disable admin bar. So this is the WordPress admin bar that you will see here. By default, it's enabled. And once your supporters log in onto the front end of your website, they would see the WordPress admin bar right at the top of the page. Now, that doesn't make for a good user experience, in my opinion. So you have the option to disable that, and this would hide the admin bar only for supporters. So if you're an administrator, you would still be able to see the admin bar. Okay. Prevent dashboard access. Again, this is a security option. If you do not want supporters to be able to access the WordPress login, for example, I would recommend enabling this option. Okay. So once you enable any of the options or make any changes in your settings, make sure to save changes as you move along. So let me just go ahead and click Save Changes. Okay. All right. So the next thing you're going to want to maybe change is the pages. By default, when you install ChamaWP, it automatically generates for you all the pages that are required for ChamaWP, whether it's the monetization pages, whether it's account related pages, anything that's related to ChamaWP, it will be auto-generated. But there may be instances where you want to create your own custom page and maybe assign it, let's say, to, for example, a donate page. Now, if you want something more custom, there are a couple ways you can go about doing that. For one, you could just change the auto-generated page. So if I was to want to change the donate page, I would just go to donate and then pages, click all pages, and then just click on, let's say, donate, and then just edit. Then you would see what is called a shortcode. This is what produces the form that allows the user to make a donation. So I wouldn't touch this shortcode that you see here that has been added by default. If you wanted to add anything custom, I would do that by adding what are called in WordPress blocks. You can add one either below. You can add one below. Let's say we wanted to add, I don't know, an image block. You can add it below that, and that's just about it. You can move it up to be above the donation form and then continue to add in blocks as you go along. If I wanted to add a gallery, I can add one there, and then feel free to just move around these blocks as you wish. But make sure that this shortcode is on your page, otherwise the donation form will not appear on the page. Okay, so let's exit out of this. We do not want to make any changes, so just let's leave it as it is. So the other way you could go about doing a custom page is, let's say you do not want the default page for, let's say, the membership. Let me just show you again. If I go to settings, then pages, and this is currently set to membership, and let's say I wanted a different page, so I can just go to all pages and then click on add page. Let's say demo page. Let's see if I wanted to add a custom block. Let's add in a custom block for images, an image. Then let's choose an image and just use that. Okay, and so we have added the demo page there. Now you're going to have to also, if let's say we wanted to have this as a membership page, I'm going to need to use the shortcode that Chama uses for a membership page. So let's go back to the current membership page and see what that is. Okay, so it is Chama underscore membership page. Chama underscore membership page. So let's go ahead and add that in. Let's see, what was the page we just added? It was demo. Okay, there it is. Edit. And what you can do is add what is called the shortcode block. Shortcode. Then add in the shortcode. Chama membership page. And then just click publish. Okay. And then once you have created the page, all you'd have to do is go back to your settings, then pages, and then for the membership page, just from the drop down, select the page we just created, which is demo page, and then just click save changes. Okay. If you want to revert back to what you created by default, you can always do that. Okay. All right. So pages are that simple. The next thing we're going to have to look into is the content. Now, the content is basically the template that is being used. Well, it deals with the template that is used for all your monetization pages. All your monetization pages have a basic structure where it has a header section, and it has an avatar, and you can also add a bio and the name, maybe your full name, your business name. So let me just show you how it looks like by default. So let's maybe go and look at the hub page. So let's open that up, a different window, then click on hub. So this is what it looks by default. Once you've installed ChamaWP, it will automatically enable the hub page, and then there's also a donate page. So there's the header section here, and then there's the avatar here, which you can customize, and I'm just going to show you how you can do that. So for the name, let's say we wanted something for the name, we could just add in, let's say I'm going to add in lead 2, bio, let's say this is a demo of ChamaWP settings. Avatar, so for the avatar, make sure it's 400 by 400 pixels. So let's go ahead and upload one from the media library. Let's go and upload one from the computer. Okay, and then click on choose this image, and then let's also add in a header image. Upload files, select, then click header. Okay, and then choose this image, and then just click save changes. All right, and it is just that simple. And then let's take a look at what the page, the template looks like. So if I do a refresh, the layout has changed. All right, so you have your custom header, your custom avatar, your name shows up, and a bio also shows up. If I was to go to the donate page, the same layout appears. Okay. All right, so protection. So this controls the way some of the maybe the global settings for protecting your content. So the first option you'll see here is the commenting for members only option. If you want to incentivize your supporters to pay for subscriptions, one way of doing that is making sure that your commenting system for WordPress is only available to supporters. And you can just do that by enabling this option. So you can check this option if you wish. If you do want anyone to be able to make a comment on your posts in WordPress, you can leave this unchecked. If you do not want them to be if you do not want to have the requirement that they are supporters. Okay. Now the enable more tag protection, I'm going to be covering this in a future tutorial, but just to give you a high level view of what this is if you have, let's say, a blog post that is behind a paywall and you want to give your supporters a taste of what the post is, and maybe you want to just give them a sneak peek into what the post is all about. You may want, for example, if it's a blog post, just to show them the first paragraph and then hide the rest of the blog post. This is what this feature would allow you to do. So if you were to enable this, the way you would go about doing this is you would add a post. I can quickly show you that. Add a post, and let's say we added, it's a paragraph, test, and then you would add what is called the more tag. So you can add it through a block, and then more, and then just click, this is the tag, and then add another paragraph. So this is the content that would be hidden behind the paywall. Okay, so I think that makes sense. I think that is pretty clear. So everything below the read more tag would be hidden unless somebody is logged in and they are paying subscribers, and this content above the read more would be available to everyone. Okay, so let's just exit out of that. I'll cover this in a future tutorial. Okay, so let's go back to those protections. So yeah, if you wanted to enable that option, you can enable it. And then the other options that you'll find here is what you can set for as the global settings. For example, if you wanted to have, if you have membership tier levels, let's say you have a $1 tier level, $5 tier level, and $10 tier level, you can set a global setting that you want all posts to be accessible to only members who are at the $10 level. Okay. And if you have other custom post types that are available, for example, for ChamaWP, there is the comic post type. If you wanted all comic posts to be available only to paying subscribers, you can set it here in the global settings. Yeah, now this, I would only do this if you are sure that you want to have a global setting for a group of posts or custom post types, and you do not want to go through the process of setting the subscription level for each post one by one. So this kind of basically saves you the time, but just note that it would override everything if you do it individually on every post. Now this will make more sense once I go through the tutorial of setting up monetization pages and how you can protect your content. So just to give you a brief overview, this is where you would do it globally for all your post types. Okay. All right. So the next tab that I'll be going through is the display tab. Now this determines what you want to be displayed on your monetization pages. So right now by default we have the hub page enabled, we have the donate page enabled. Let's say I wanted to also show the membership subscription page, the crowdfunding, the commissions. If you wanted to show the donor analytics, that's an option you can enable. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, and then in terms of post types, this is what would appear on the hub page. So the hub page has a section that allows you to show like a brief overview or some of the posts that are available on your website, whether they be regular blog posts for WordPress or even custom post types. So let's say I just wanted to show posts also. I would just click on the Save Changes button. Then if I do a refresh, you will notice that it shows the latest posts here that are currently in the system. It shows the analytics, like how many donors we have, how many members we have, how many founders and commissioners we have. And then it has also added in the membership page. If we had tiers here, it would show up here. If we had a crowdfunding page, it would show up the content that goes there and the commissions. Now I'll show this in a future tutorial, how you can set up and populate the content that would go into each of these pages. Okay, so right now we just have the donate and the hub page populated. Okay, all right, so that covers it for display. Branding. Now branding basically determines how you would change some of the colors inside on your monetization pages. So let's say we wanted to change the accent background color. The accent background color is basically, you see this red color that's kind of appearing on the buttons and also on the links here. I can change that if I wanted to. So let's say we wanted it to be blue, and I click Save Changes. Very fresh, it makes that change. Okay. If I wanted the accent text color to be a different color, let's say yellow. See what it would do. It would change the color to yellow that will appear on the buttons. Okay. All right. The content background color. So anything that goes into a section like this one on the donate page, you can set the content background color. Let's say I wanted it to be, I don't know, black, and I wanted the content color to be white. If I do a refresh, okay, so it's going to change the color for the background color for the template that is being used for all the pages for your monetization pages. Okay. If I wanted to change the background for the secondary color, it's going to be showing up, let's say, on this navigation button. Let's see if I wanted to change, let's say, to red, and click Save Changes, and I click refresh, so it would appear there. All right, so I hope that makes sense. So basically you can feel free to play around with this and just see what happens on the template. It basically controls the colors, the color scheme for your monetization pages. All right, if I wanted to go back to default, I could just do clear, 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 and then just click Save Changes, and it would just go back to the default. Okay. All right. Payment limits. So payment limits, basically, we currently just have, you can set a payment limit for the donation, but default it's, let's say if you have your currency is $1, the minimum amount somebody can donate is $1. Now, the one thing to bear in mind is if you're experiencing fraud payments on your website, typically the reason why that happens is people are using really small amounts to make those donations. If they've stolen a credit card, usually they'll try and make payments with really small amounts, or if they're using like a bot to kind of test out your donation forms or your payment forms, you will notice that they may try to make several small payments within a short period of time. So if you do encounter those kind of instances, I would recommend having this kind of significantly higher, maybe a $5 minimum amount for donations. But anyway, this is where you would set the minimum donation amount for donations at least. Okay. The next thing I'm going to show you is the email settings. Okay, so this kind of controls the settings for the emails that are going to go out. So, for example, what would appear as the from name in your emails that go out. Let's say if a supporter makes a donation, they'll receive an email notification if you enable the receipt. You want the from name to be, you can change the from name to whatever you wish. I have right now as Acme. I can change it to, let's say, Lidu. I could change my from address to, let's say, info at Lidu. The admin. Now the admin email address, this is the email address that is going to receive notifications if you do enable notifications. So you would want to, if you want to receive email notifications whenever somebody registers on your website, or whenever somebody makes a donation, or makes a subscription, or makes any kind of payment, you would set the email address you want that sent to here. So let's say we want it to be also at info@lidu.net. So the user notifications, this is where you want to control if you want to receive notifications of users who have registered. This will have to be according to your preference, but my personal preference would be not to want to receive an email every time somebody registers to the website. But you may want to be monitoring that on your end. So if you want to, you can enable that. Supporter payment notification. Now this one maybe is definitely something you may want to consider enabling. This is going to send notifications to your supporters whenever they make a payment. They would receive a receipt. If they want to, maybe they've forgotten their login details, they would receive notifications. So make sure to enable this if you want your supporters to receive any notifications related to the account or to their payments. Okay. Supporter renewal notifications, I think that's self-explanatory. It's notifications that are sent out for subscriptions. So whenever subscription is a renewal payment goes through, a receipt will go out whenever a renewal takes place. You can enable this if you wish. If you feel that would be too much for your supporters, you can leave it disabled. Supporter failed payment notifications. This will be for whenever, again, this is for subscription. So if a renewal fails to go through, or even just a payment fails to go through for whatever reason, you would get a failed payment notification. The supporter would get a failed payment notification by email. So this is an option that you can enable. And then admin notifications. If you want to receive notifications about new payments, for example, this is something definitely that you want to enable, and you can check. All right. Okay, and then you may want to, so the emails that are sent out by ChamaWP have a basic template, and you can customize like the header section that goes at the top of the email. For example, if you wanted to show your logo, so let me just do that just to give you an idea of how it would work. Let's go upload the image file. Okay, and then I will just click Save Changes. All right, so that should give you a good idea of how you can change the email settings. So in relation to that, now we have the email templates. Okay, so you can kind of go through this page just to get an idea of the email templates that are available. So these are all the default templates that are available when you install ChamaWP. So you'll find there's a template email for receipt of payment for a donation, or when a donation payment is being processed, or a subscription payment has been made or is being processed, commissions, crowdfunding, when a payment fails to go through, when a subscription cancellation notification has gone through. So this is where you can configure the template for your emails. You can add in text, you can add in the images that if you want an image to appear in the email. The one thing I would make a note of is what are called template tags. Now, template tags are basically fields that are automatically populated from donations or any form of payment that comes through ChamaWP. So if you have for a donation, there fields like the donation date, when the donation was made, the amount of payment, the receipt ID. So you may want to play around with how you want to lay that out on your email receipt. Each of these templates have a reference below the field that you can use to copy the template tags into your email template. So feel free to use any one of these template tags and add them to your template. Okay, and that should be it. Should be straightforward. Then the other thing that I would like to go through is the miscellaneous tab. If you, for whatever reason, I hope you wouldn't want to do so, but if for whatever reason you wanted to uninstall ChamaWP, you may want to delete all the data that is in that is in your WordPress website. So to do that, just make sure you check this option, delete plugin data, and then click on Save Changes. And what that will do is whenever you uninstall the plugin, it will automatically delete everything within ChamaWP. Within your WordPress website. The active crowdfunding campaign, if you had multiple crowdfunding campaigns, you may want any donation or membership subscription to contribute to a crowdfunding campaign. Now, this is going to make more sense once I go through how to set up monetization pages in a future tutorial. So just to give you a brief overview, if you wanted to, by default, if you wanted to have, the way crowdfunding campaigns work is if somebody makes a donation to a specific crowdfunding campaign, the tally increases with each donation. Now, you may want also donations that are coming in from, let's say, regular donations that are unrelated to a crowdfunding campaign, and also membership subscriptions that are unrelated to a crowdfunding campaign to contribute to a specific crowdfunding campaign. You can enable that by selecting the campaign from the drop-down menu here. If you do not want any donations or subscriptions to contribute to a crowdfunding campaign, you can just leave this as blank. You do not have to select anything on this field. Now this is going to make more sense once we go through how to set up monetization pages. Okay. Then finally, the analytics page. This is something that you wouldn't have to configure at all. It's just going to give you a report of how many donors you have, how many members you have, how many founders and commissioners that you have. And as I continue to build ChamaWP, we're going to have more complex reports available from this section. So just watch this space. All right, so that about covers it for settings. I hope that was all clear. If you have any questions, feel free to leave your questions in the comment section below or to reach out to me by email. All right, till next time.